Hey, my friend, I want to remind you today that you are not behind. In case that you've fallen into a trap of comparing yourself with someone, may I be that voice of your heart right now, even though I know you hear it, I know you respect it. I just want to give you a few words that will remind you of what truly matters. You're not behind. You're just on a very different path that has its own timing. And what you may be calling a delay may be just a divine preparation for you. And maybe these words sound a bit empty too, like what does it even mean? But think about focusing just on your path. How does it make you feel? Because you notice that you only feel left behind, or you only feel things are not going the way you think they should, because you have some kind of an idea in your mind of how it should be. Because you've seen maybe someone else experiencing something that you crave. And therefore you're not satisfied with how your life is right now, because you think that person that has that is enjoying their life more than you are enjoying your life, or they're happier or more free than you are. You don't know what they are going through. You don't know what they are experiencing. You only know what they've presented to the world. So the message is today to stop looking so much at the lives of others, because you are here to live your life and to make something out of it that you will be proud of, that you will be happy for, and that will make you happy, that will make you excited, and that will inspire someone. So instead of focusing on the lives of others, focus on how to make your life inspiring for others. And let others inspire you. But don't confuse their chapter 12 maybe with your chapter 3. Your story is unfolding and it just has its own timing. So remember the wise words that comparison is a thief wearing your friend's face. Because it only robs you from what you've actually craved for your life to experience more of. Many of times we experience that because, we just live in a world where so many people are maybe doing what we are doing. Like, I'm an artist, I'm sharing my paintings with you. Like today I'm sharing one of my paintings with you. And I could easily find so many artists who are more successful with their art. Or I would find someone who's just way more evolved in it than I am. Or sometimes we compare ourselves with other spiritual evolution. We think, oh, they are so wise and I still have these troubles. We don't know how many troubles they have. Like, sometimes I receive these messages like, oh, you're so wise, or you're so intelligent, but I have same troubles sometimes that you do. I just treat them differently sometimes. And no one presents everything to the world because it doesn't truly matter. What matters is that you realize your path is your path. Only take inspiration from others. Don't compare yourself with them. And when you fall into these lower energies, as it happens to us sometimes, replace distraction with stillness. You see, trees don't grow taller by stretching faster. They grow deeper before they rise. Right? They firstly grow their roots and then they rise. So if it feels like you're not moving, Ask yourself, what roots are growing right now that I can't see? What roots are growing right now that I can't see? Yeah, maybe you're learning to ground this new idea that has been knocking on the doors of your mind for such a long time, and you thought it's nothing. But actually, it has a potential to bring everything you've been desiring into your life. Like when I've started painting, I had no idea it will take me to where I am today, but because one day in meditation I got this idea that I need to combine my paintings with these messages, and I did that. I made over 2,000 videos because I needed to do that. I was growing roots, so now the freedom can be possible, right? Not to brag, but to express what it means. Sometimes we grow roots, so later we can get taller, right? Because when you get taller, there are stronger winds there. There are greater forces that may blow you around. That's why you need strong roots. When we move through life, it's not about shiny objects. It's not about making more money, my friend. Sure, these things happen naturally when we focus more on becoming that version of us that we've craved to become. Like, for specific reason, you've been inspired by certain people and certain qualities in these people and certain activities in these people, because deep inside you know you have this potential inside of you as well. And maybe you've been doubting it because you think it's only possible for them but not for you, due to your background. But you see, that's why I always look at inspiration as a sacred language of your soul, because what inspires you speaks to you, to that part of you that has what that other person has as well. This is called synchronization of energy. You feel inspired by people who are very similar to you. And that's what you need to know, not to compare yourself with them, but to notice that what you're doing, you could do it greater. That's why Jesus said, you will do what I do, and you can do it even greatly. Something like that. Because he was pointing a finger onto a potential that lives within all of us. But to embody it, we need to grow strong roots. You can't be an incredible wise man without going through, or wise woman without going through dark phases and dark challenges that will help you to ground yourself, to become more stable, to become more resilient, but also to let go and to forgive and to learn to heal and to move on, to not be so attached to what is happening and to recognize you're just traveler here. You're just traveler here, my friend. So ask yourself, what roots are growing right now that you can't see? So you can understand that your timing isn't broken. It's bespoke. It's unfolding. You don't see the unfolding, you only see results. Like how many times you go outside and check if the apple trees are growing any apples? Not often, except if that's your business. But in the summer, you walk around and you celebrate the fruits of trees. You need to understand that some souls are built for sprints, others are made for long, slow burning fires. The fact that you feel out of sync might mean you're syncing with something higher than the world's pace. What about that, my friend? You know, when I was younger, and I want to give you this personal example just to make more sense. When I was younger, before I started that passion sport that I had, the freestyle mountain biking, I was very serious about it and I wanted to make a career out of it. But before I was doing it, I wanted so badly to get a bike, but my parents didn't buy it because no one understood that sport. It was very not so popular sport. But I wanted that bike. It was not so expensive, but it was not easy to get them. So I had 3 friends. They all got bikes, their parents bought these bikes to them, but I never got one. So I always felt like, why I'm in this situation? Like, all these other kids, their parents just buy stuff to them. My parents never bought what I truly wanted to me. They never bought it to me. So I needed to just use a regular bike. And I was often then, the kind of the outcast. No one was bullying me for that or any of that. Like, we were living in a wonderful village where these things didn't exist. So I'm very grateful for that. But I felt like, why I can't receive what other people are receiving. So what I needed to get used to was that I just live on a different timing. Because eventually I used a normal bike and I destroyed it. And I needed to learn to fix it somehow, so I could keep doing the sport. Until one day a friend of mine sold that bike to me for a very little money, and I got finally that dream bike. And then with that dream bike I became very serious. That's when I've recognized that because I didn't receive what I wanted, I became very hungry for it. Not hungry in a sense that I would crave it even more, but in a sense that I was able to make it out of nothing almost. Like, I became so driven for that sport that even when all these friends stopped, when it was not interesting anymore, I became more serious about it. I built my own place where I would train, and later I've started competing. And I've noticed all this drive, and everything was born actually at the time when I didn't receive what I wanted. So sometimes we go through these tests, not because the universe is punishing us, but because the universe knows what will activate us. Our analytical mind doesn't understand that. But deep inside we know we need to go through some kind of unique pressure. So a dream can be born almost out of pain. And that pain then becomes a blessing, because we know we needed it. We only needed that pain so it would push us into something we were actually craving. But yes, sometimes we distract ourselves, sometimes we get lazy, sometimes other things become interesting, and we forgot about that fundamental desire that we had, that was our soul called to become it. Like, I would never be where I am today if I would not go through this sport. Like, I was so serious about it, training every day, building my own jumps, filming videos. You can still find them on YouTube. Competing. I've been through all of that. And back at that time I thought this will be my career, but actually I was just building discipline and perseverance and trust, faith and knowledge around how timing of life works. Firstly, as a kid I would compare myself to these other kids that had these perfect bikes, and I had that, whack one. But then later, I became so passionate about that sport that I've learned all the tricks and all the moves and everything that those kids were just dreaming about, because they never developed such a strong drive that was needed to learn all those skills. And then I got sponsors at some point, and things evolved into incredible ways that all these other kids were almost jealous, almost. I don't know, maybe not really, but I felt like I really came to the point. I came to that point because my timing was so different. Because maybe if I would receive everything at time I would like, I would never develop such a drive for it. Like today, I would never have this drive for sharing daily videos every single day with you. All these teachings, all this work, all these paintings, if I would not go through these stages where I didn't receive what I wanted. When I've started making art, and you know that, you've been through these times when you didn't receive what you wanted. Only so later, something so much bigger came to you. I reminded you some souls are built for sprints. Those are maybe people who receive everything fast. And others are made for long, slow burning fires. I consider myself to be this one. Because whatever I starts blooming very, very slowly, and it always blooms later than I would ever want. Yes, some may say it's because of your energy, it's because of your beliefs. But that's how I learn, and I love that. I love that. I've learned to love that, because eventually in my life everything clicks. And I was never destroyed, even though I was hurt because of that. And I thought it will not work out, and I will not receive money, and things will fall apart. They did fall apart, but eventually I received everything. Eventually things worked out, not because I was passive or I would wait it. I was working hard all the time, as same as you are most probably working hard on something right now, and think that it's not working. But may I say to you right now, it is working. You just don't see it yet. The fact that you feel out of sync might mean you're syncing with something higher than the world's pace. So you're not behind, you're maybe in some rehearsal. You see, the people who seem ahead may be rushing into performances they're not prepared for. I don't know, but maybe you're quietly tuning your instrument, working in quietness, preparing yourself in quietness. And when your moment arrives, you will feel ready. Not perform ready, but soul ready. When I started competing, I knew that I was ready because I was training with a broken bike. So when I finally got a bit better bike, I was able to ride it like it was perfect. Because I was used to things that were not even made for that. That's why we're able to make something out of nothing. Because we know we don't need perfect conditions. All we need is our mind, our intention, and our effort. That reminds me that all we have is energy. You don't have time, you have energy. And how you invest energy, well, time will show you what you've done. So don't focus so much on time, focus on energy, how you're investing it. Focus on how you're investing it. Maybe ask yourself, who told you what progress should look like? Who drew the finish line you think you missed? Because those are all illusions. Maybe on social media, or you've heard someone how it should be, or someone told you you could do it faster, you could do it bigger. But rather just, take a breath and ask yourself, what life do you actually want to bring toward? Because maybe, just maybe, my friend, you weren't left behind. Maybe you just stopped because you thought this path should be different. Or maybe you stepped off a race that was never meant for you. Eventually you will always be pulled onto your path because your soul will never allow you to go way too far off your track. Why? Because it's impossible. You will be pulled back. Your soul is so much more powerful than your analytical mind. And I know these are just words. These are just words. Soul, path, spirit. Those are just words. But at the same time, deep inside, there is a force that you know that is just navigating you if you allow yourself to trust it and to do what is required to do, to turn back onto your path and focus on the energy you're investing. Not just thoughts, not just through thinking. Through thinking, yes, of course, but also through trusting and through moving towards it. There's the thinking plane, the mind, right? There's the spiritual plane, the spirit, the trust, the faith. And then there's the physical plane, where you take action towards it. And as you walk towards it, you will see your timing works for you, not against you. That's what I want you to know, my friend. I will leave you here. I hope you've found a great value in today's message and that it can inspire you to stop comparing yourself with someone else. In case you found today's painting inspiring, you can get a print of it and put it somewhere where it will remind you of today's message. You can find all of my art on AttractPassion.com or the link in the description of this video. So go and check it out. Also join us on our Patreon community for more exclusive content. Until next time, one love.